What's good, everybody? It is Wednesday, May 17th, 2023. This is your daily sports betting brand of record. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all sports betting, and it's not close. Now, here at the Early Edge, sometimes we say it's Bounce Back Wednesday, but yet we don't need one today because yesterday, the Early Edge and 5 crew, absolutely perfect. Didn't miss one pick. I encourage you to watch those guys today. Early Edge and 5 at 4 for several reasons. And by the way, if you didn't watch the Early Wedge on Tuesday live, it's in your feed right now. We'll get you ready for the PGA Championship. I encourage you to watch it. Now, let's bring in the stars of the show. And very quickly, I have to point this out because many of you know that I gave EC a little bet yesterday that if he had 2 straight days of 3-0, he could host the show. So what did he do last night? He went 3-0. So now Zach says in the chat, I can't wait for EC to go 3-0 today so he can host tomorrow afternoon. I kid you not. At 5 a.m. my time this morning, my phone goes off. I get a text. I'm thinking it's from Sia. We do that hosting, talking thing all the time. It's from EC. It's a video of him practicing the intro to the Early Edge. I kid you not. And I thought, oh, maybe he's on an island by himself. But then I go to the thread and I see Propstarz is actually pushing him to do this stuff. Propstarz, answer for yourself.
Coach, good morning, gentlemen. Good morning. Great to see you. I am fired up. EC going 3-0 yesterday. Tip of the proverbial cap to EC. Another 3-0 day, Coach, and you might have the day off.
So he's actually doubling down. I thought he was going to say, no, Coach, no. But no, doubling down on EC. Okay, I know. Lines have been drawn. All right, let's get right into it. We got marquee matchup today, and look at the crew that I have. Are you kidding me? Embarrassment of riches. So one big game tonight. And by the way, those of you who lost on the Nuggets, if you had 6.5 last night, oh, that was brutal. But if you had the over, you cashed with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter like I did. But tonight, here's what we're looking at. Celtics -8. Total at 211. Counselor, let's start with you. Are we fading or are we following the Celtics as an 8-point favorite?
First and foremost, I reject Proppy's good morning. I don't want it. I am the host when Coach isn't here. Maybe it's Grace, but it's not going to be EC. Of course, Alan is perhaps a host, but it can't be EC. He cannot go 3-0 today. Crew, we need him to go 2-1 or worse. Period. End of story. This one's tough. The thing about the Miami Heat is the unquantifiables. We look at their roster and we're like, okay, they can't hang with the Boston Celtics or really any team in the playoffs, and yet they keep knocking off teams like the Milwaukee Bucks, for example. This is one of those things where I think I have to take the Heat. They're on more rest. Both these teams are on a good amount of rest, but this Spoelstra, Riley, Jimmy Butler factor, the dog in these guys is something that if they're close in the fourth quarter, if they're anywhere close in the fourth quarter, I think they definitely cover this spread because this is going to be a fourth quarter team. They just have to keep it close. I'm going to take the +8.
You know, I don't know if you noticed Amags' face, Counselor, but he's over here right now going unquantifiable. Okay. All right, Maestro, I'm coming to you. Are you fading or following the Celtics as an 8-point favorite?
Well, Sia referenced the extra time off that Miami had. They've had 4 full days off, and I think that comes into play in 2 ways. One, Jimmy Butler's ankle, Bam Adebayo's hamstring, Kyle Lowry being an older guy. That's going to help them. But number 2, the coaching edge with Eric Spoelstra against Joe Mazzulla, giving him 2 extra days to prepare against the Celtics team. We've seen them show up or not show up at home 3 times already this postseason, losing outright. I'll take all the points.
It's funny that you should say day off, Maestro, because Propstarz in the chat, Jeffrey said, if you keep this up, you might have a day off.
Hey, I might, and I've earned it actually. So,
Propstarz, are we leaning into the Celtics tonight, sir?
I am fading the Celtics. I absolutely love this Heat team, Coach. I call them the zombie Heat because this team is back from the dead. If you would have told me 1 month ago that they would be appearing in their 3rd Eastern Conference Finals in the past 4 years, I would have told you needed to have a sanity check. It is unbelievable how well this team is playing. Both these teams are very, very familiar with each other. As I mentioned, 3rd Eastern Conference Final in 4 years. All of those came against the Boston Celtics. Miami is 5-0 in their previous 5 game ones as well, including 2 straight game 1 wins on the road. Maestro mentioned there is a sizable coaching advantage here for Eric Spoelstra as well. I actually rate him as a top 5 coach in NBA history. I love the Heat tonight at +8.
A little translation for those of you that are brand new to this brand. When he gets like that, I suggest you pay attention. Do you want to do the work? I don't think so. Educate and entertain. Knowledge is power. Now, let's get into our board for the day because we have nine night games, 6-day baseball games. But before we get to that, we got to hear from one of our incredible sponsors.
Get breaking news.
Big news coming out of the NFL today.
Highlights and instant reactions.
The largest final round comeback in Ford championship history. We're down to the final 4.
I just want to take time to analyze greatness.
Talk winners and losers with a guy who's already a big winner.
CBS Sports HQ. It's all sports all day long.
And by the way, speaking of the early edge takeover, as I like to call it, once again tonight, just like last night, we destroyed it. 6 p.m. Eastern time, I will be hosting from the friendly confines, and we'll have a lot of early edge talent on that show tonight at 6 to 7, getting you ready for the night in sports, but also for the PGA Championship. Did I mention watch the early wedge? Please do that. All right, now, Amags, I've made you sit there and wait long enough. You, sir, have been on an absolute tear. And if you guys aren't following my man Amags, I suggest that you do that. He's active 24/7, which is the way I like it. Sir, start us off.
Yes, coach. Well, maybe 24/7 to my own detriment. Just had a rough night's sleep in there. So I was up looking at some picks, 1, 2, 3, 4 a.m. And that's why we've come in here with a couple of picks that I'm actually feeling really strongly about today. And I'll get right into the first one because as we broke it out last week, it was that Amags matinee parlay. We're going to get right back into it this week with an early game here in Detroit. And I like Javi Baez 1+ hit and the Detroit Tigers over 2.5 runs on the alt run line or the alt team total there. When you put these two things together, it's -140. I got it on DraftKings, maybe able to find it in some other places a little bit better, but went with a widely available book, and Javi Baez 1 or more hit in 11 of his last 13 games. He's been getting hot. He faces a lefty now in Rich Hill, who's been, pretty bad in terms of being barreled up, being hit hard, especially to the right side this year. So I'm gonna take Baez there to his stronger side, take Rich Hill on his weaker side. And I like the Detroit Tigers here actually to take this game as well. Erod has been one of the best pitchers in the major leagues. So give me that play there for the early game on our matinee parlay. And then I'm going to throw it to something late here. We're looking at some strikeout props. We don't usually get 2 guys in the same game that I like, but tonight we have that. We have Spencer Strider and Nate Eovaldi, 2 of the top 4 swinging strike rates on the board today. These guys have been great this season. And when you look at Strider, he's over 8 strikeouts in all 8 starts. Same thing with Eovaldi and 5+ strikeouts. He's been over that in all 8 of his starts. So I like these guys to remain consistent in good matchups and hit the 5 and the 8 numbers here for -120 on DraftKings.
Amazing stuff right there. The Amags matinee parlay. By the way, Amags, the chat needs your help. Morning, early edge fam from Ramon. Took 2 dogs of the day in a parlay, Yankees and Rays. Need 1 more to close it out. Any suggestions? Amags, help our good friend Ramon out, please.
Yankees and Rays he had there. You know what? It's a little bit weird, but maybe throw Oakland in there. I really just don't love the pitching matchup that Arizona's going to roll out, and Luis Medina, ex-Yankee farmhand, he could be good. So throw that in there, and maybe Oakland wins back-to-back games for only the 2nd time this year.
There you go, Ramon. Little lean. Don't tweet us though if it doesn't hit. Don't tweet us. That was on the spot. All right. Thank you for watching, though. All right. Amags, great start. Now, every time my main man shows up looking clean, he's the best-dressed man on the show. We already know that. But when he loses a pick, I don't think you guys understand at home what he turns into. He's a savage. He does not like losing. Counselor, if you don't mind, you're up.
Yeah, understatement of the year. Hate losing. It's a bounce back Wednesday for me. I lost yesterday. It was 2 outs, bottom of the 5th. It looked like we were headed for a push, and then all hell broke loose again with 2 outs. So I'm feeling a lot more inspired by this pick for a couple different reasons, and we'll get to it in a second. But I've got the Red Sox first 5 -142. It's a little juicy over Seattle. This is the Red Sox at home in Fenway. It's Bayo versus Marco Gonzalez. I really like how Bayo's been pitching. His last 3 starts, he's allowed a total of 5 earned runs over 16 innings. And for the record, that's against Cleveland, Toronto, and Atlanta. So these are good hitting teams, Cleveland, Toronto, and Atlanta. Bayo also inducing a lot of ground balls, which I absolutely love to see, particularly at Fenway. Marco Gonzalez, on the other hand, good start to the season, but he's kind of coming back to earth. He's pitching to contact. He's walking a lot of batters. His ERA is starting to adjust to what we probably think the Marco Gonzalez ERA should be. So yes, this is juicy, but the pitching matchup and the hitting matchup favors the Boston Red Sox here. So the juice is completely justified. And oh, by the way, here's the final thing I like. Bayo's birthday. Coach, I got to ask you.
What?
When do you think Bayo's birthday is?
What
day?
Today?
May 17th, 1999. Coach is correct. It's today. So we have a narrative layered on an already great bet, a birthday narrative. Give me some of that. Give me the Sox minus 142, first 5.
It's funny you bring up birthday because apparently somebody in the chat, Sia, wants to get blocked. Because apparently 19 years ago today, I got my unofficial nickname, and Proppy will remember this. Apparently, that's the day that I got called Popcorn Fart for the first time in my career on live television. You can Google it. It's all over the place. But Matthew, we never talk about my WWE days, ever. We're not allowed to talk about that here, right, Proppy?
That's correct, Coach.
Correct. No WWE talk here, ever. No stories, no nothing. Although it was a funny night that actually – I'm kidding. All right, Proppy. Jason in the chat says, I miss the beer-long speeches. I don't know what the beer means. From Proppy. Good to have it back. I think it means when you really get excited and you read that thing. Boy, that is classic Propstarz. Where are we going today?
Just wait for NFL season, my friend Jason, because they will return. But yeah, we are going to the hardwood, Coach. 2 plays from this Celtics Heat game. I am so fired up for it. First, we're going to take my guy, playoff Jimmy. He is activated. Maestro mentioned it. 5 days rest for Jimmy Butler. Over 27.5 points. Had that monster opening series against the Bucks and then had a quiet scoring series against the Knicks. That is because the Knicks opted to double Jimmy Butler on nearly every single possession that he had. As a result, he was much more of a facilitator in that series. He was 4-1 when he was active, so it didn't really work doubling him. Plus, Boston's not going to double him either, I don't think, especially early on in the series. Totally different defense. So we're going to see Jimmy Butler. He's going to have to score a lot more in this series if they're going to be competitive as well. I also like this matchup for him. The Celtics defense has shown some significant weaknesses, especially recently. So I think Jimmy Butler is going to have a big scoring series. So love him. Over 27.5 points coming off those 4 days rest. Then we're going to the other side, the Celtics side. We're taking Derek White over 12.5 combined points, rebounds, and assists. A bit of a forgotten man, kind of fell out of the rotation against the 76ers, didn't really play in games 6 and 7. The Celtics opted to go big. They inserted Robert Williams into the starting lineup. As a result, White was demoted, only played about 15 minutes in both of those games. I don't think that's going to be the case against the Heat. The Heat are smaller. They have a more mobile center in Bam Adebayo. They have more spacing. So this sets up for Derek White to play a lot more minutes. And considering that this combination line is 12.5, it was routinely in the mid to low 20s, Coach, just a couple of games ago. So we're getting a huge discount on this. I anticipate Derek White playing upwards of 30 minutes tonight as well. Also, last but not least, M Squared is also on a variation of this play on his points and rebounds, which is almost an identical play. So some very good SportsLine synergy, as Coach likes to say, there as well. So we love Derek White's combination line over 12.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And you could also take Mike's 10.5 points and rebounds as well.
There's a lot to unwrap in the last 2 minutes of the show that you don't even know about, probably. Goose was all over the place.
He was active.
He was stretching. Oh, the chat loves Goose.
Playoff Goose has been activated, Coach.
He has been. And then Jason explained his beer-long comment. He says that sometimes you give a take, and he has enough time to drink an entire beer. That, I think, is very funny. Well done, as always, Proppy. All right, we have arrived. You guys know if you watch this brand every single day, there is only one Maestro spot for a reason since day freaking one. So, Maestro, if you don't mind, I I cashed on this team yesterday, and I would love to do it again today. Floor is yours.
Yeah, I'm riding with those Detroit Tigers at home against the Pittsburgh Pirates. You know, I backed the Pirates yesterday, and I really need to go see someone about that, because after watching the way that they take it fast, they get 0-2 pretty much right away. The manager puts in 6 lefties against a pitcher who allows a 179 average to left-handed batters. So it's a total mess. The last 14 games, they're averaging under 1.6 runs a game. They're batting 157. Oh, yeah, and now they have to face the Tigers ace, Eduardo Rodriguez, who has a 0.42 ERA at home. I think the price is cheap on the Tigers. I know a lot of people on this show and not on this show like Detroit, but the way that Pittsburgh is playing, there's dissension. Guy didn't run out a hit last night, a grounder last night, led to a double play. It's a mess right now for the Pirates. Unless they start switching the players, they're going to keep floundering. I'll take the Tigers, who are 9-4 in their last 13. That's an early start. A little bit later start in Colorado, Nick Senzel over 1.5 total bases. This is a dream matchup for him against Austin Gomber, who's a lefty. Nick Senzel is hitting .481 against lefties, 13-27. He is slugging .778. That's not an OPS. That's a slugging percentage against lefties. He has gone over this in 4 of his last 5 games. The only game he didn't, he walked 3 times. So he's in a good groove. He won the game last night with the home run. This is pretty cheap, -105 on DraftKings. Nick Senzel over 1.5 total bases.
Absolutely love it. And remember, Maestro said it, day baseball, night baseball. Check the start of the game. I hate getting those tweets that say, Coach, I missed the start of the game. We can only lead you to the water. We can't help you drink. Somebody will explain that to you. All right, grab your paper. Grab your pencil. Here's the recap courtesy of the snake on the 1s and the 2s. The counts are one big play today, but as always, follow him on social media. You just never know. Red Sox first 5 money line -142. Little juicy, but as you said, the juice, Sia.
It's justified.
You're damn right.
Little change up for you.
I
Bayo
guess.
style.
Yeah, thank you for that. All right, Propstarz, Jimmy Butler over 27.5 points, -118. Derek White over 12.5 points, rebounds, and assists, -125. Amags, little Amags matinee parlay every Wednesday. You get it. That's why you come here. Javi Baez, 1 hit, and the Tigers team total over 2.5, -140. Now, yeah, you got to put a little work in to find these, but they're there. Nathan Eovaldi, 5+ Ks. Spencer Strider, 8. This kid's a stud. Just an absolute stud. You put those together, -120. And then the Maestro, he's on the Tigers money line, -155. Then a little prop. Nick Senzel over 1.5 total bases, -105. A quick reminder, do not forget to check out the early wedge. We have Steve Scott on this week. He is on site in Rochester at Oak Hill to give you all the very latest. We've got fire picks there for you as well. The tournament starts tomorrow. I will be hosting 6 p.m. Eastern tonight on CBS Sports HQ. And you don't want to miss Early Edge in 5 today at 4 p.m. Eastern time, because I will take on the seismic shift in this country known as EC, head-to-head, face-to-face. So with all that being said, there's only one thing left to do, and I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. For my entire crew, Lobo, Maestro, Counselor, Proppy, and my man Amags, always doing the work and the snake behind the scenes on the 1s and the 2s. I am simply the coach, trying to keep this train on the track. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's what we're all about right here at the Early Edge. Good luck.